Hi, I'm Bex, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. So in the last video that I did, we talked about the wisdom of the body, the fight, flight or freeze response that comes from living in a society and in a world where we're constantly in a heightened state of stress, and the impact that this can have on our physical health and our mental well-being, our relationships and our quality of life. So today we're going to talk a little bit about rituals. But first, I want to just ask you a question. When was the last time that you did something slowly, mindfully, because it felt good, rather than just rushing from one task onto the next, thinking about your to-do list and everything else and everybody else's needs? As I mentioned in the last video, we live in a culture which encourages constant productivity. We eat while we're watching TV, we lie in bed planning the next day before today has even ended. We're constantly connected to everybody, and that often leaves us feeling very disconnected from ourselves and from our bodies. Our nervous systems were not designed for this. If you can imagine that stress is like having your foot gently pressed on the accelerator pedal all day, rituals remind us where the brake pedal is. So rituals are a way of bringing mindful moments. And I just want to ask you this as well. When I say the word ritual, what comes to mind? And no, we're not talking 5 a.m. ice baths or an hour of yoga or green smoothies or any of that, although all of those things are wonderful. But what that can mean is that if we think that rituals have to be expensive and elaborate and complicated, we think it's something that isn't for us. And that's not the truth at all. And that's what I would like to talk to you today in this video about. So across cultures and throughout history, rituals have been used to mark beginnings and endings, grieving loss, celebration, celebrating milestones, connecting with others and finding shared meaning. And it can be done through meals, through storytelling, through prayer, through spending time in nature. Rituals helped us to slow down, to pause and to connect and to find meaning in life's experiences. And we've lost these natural pauses, and it's been replaced with multitasking, rushing around, doom scrolling, no judgment here. I'll tell you what rituals are not. They don't have to be. They can be, but they don't have to be. Spiritual. They don't have to be expensive. They don't have to be complicated, and they certainly don't have to be time consuming. It's about small actions, and it's the intention that transforms it. So it's using small, everyday actions with a mindful intention. And it can help to anchor us and help us feel a sense of security and familiarity in a chaotic world. And our brains love patterns. So it's not about changing the source of the stress. It helps us to choose how to respond and connect with our body and finding that pause. So a ritual is an action that we choose to perform with mindfulness. Now, lots of people think that mindfulness is about creating space and having no thoughts at all. And it's not. It's simply about noticing. And we can use everyday activities like making a cup of tea, having a shower, opening the curtains in the morning. It could be lighting a candle. It could just be sitting quietly in the garden for a few moments. And we can use the power of ritual to create these mini mindful moments, because we often spend our lives rushing around, thinking about the future, thinking about the endless to-do list. Rituals can help to bring us back into the present moment, into connection with our body, anchoring, noticing, pausing, and asking, what does my body need today? So I'm going to go through a practice with you now, and I'd like to invite you to have a go at this yourself. So I wonder if you had a cup of tea this morning or a cup of coffee, and what that looked like for you. What did you rush down the stairs, put the kettle on, and you're constantly thinking about what everybody else needs, and have I done this, and what's going to happen at work today, and are the kids all right, and have I done this, have I done that, have I done that? We can change that by bringing mindfulness, and it can take just a couple of minutes. That's all you need. Rituals can be used at the beginning of the day. They can be used throughout the day, at the end of the day, to close the day. So there's no equipment that we need for this practice. So I'm going to talk you through it. So we're going to just pour the water into the kettle. Noticing what we hear, what we feel. And as the kettle boils, just taking a moment to ground and breathe. Relaxing our jaw, allowing our shoulders to drop, allowing our tongue just gently sit in the mouth. Taking a few deep breaths here. Grounding the body into the floor. And just being in this moment right now. Inviting you to notice the smells, the noises. Taking this moment to give yourself some care, some nurturing. This moment is for you. And as you pour in the water, just noticing how it looks, how it smells, what you can hear. There's nothing for you to do right now, nowhere for you to be. Noticing the warmth from the cup. Taking a moment to savour, to allow it to soothe you. And if you wanted to, you could choose a word or a feeling or a mantra, something that you want to connect with today. And every time you make a cup of tea, you don't have to, but every time you remember, connecting with that. Maybe it's wanting to feel calm, to be kind, to feel safe and supported. Maybe you need to connect with some queen energy to feel king energy, to feel strong. Maybe it's your job today to be a voice for other people, even if you're really scared. That's certainly been an experience of mine recently. We often think that change happens in big dramatic ways, but actually it often comes from small actions repeated consistently. And I'm also going to say this to my ADHD brothers and sisters, and anybody who, like me, is a recovering perfectionist or is an all or nothing thinker. If you are doing this practice and then you forget, or you can't, or your child comes running through the door needing you, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, just try again later, try again tomorrow. It doesn't have to look impressive to anyone else. It only has to help you to choose to step into the day with conscious awareness, with intention, with mindfulness. It's an invitation for you to start your day with a little more intention and kindness and to connect with yourself. So I'd like to invite you to try this practice, to experiment with what feels good. You might want to have a bit of a stretch. You might want to have a bit of a shake. You might want to give yourself a massage. As you're taking those breaths, you might want to put your hand over your heart. It might help you to feel more grounded. Anything to help connect with yourself and with your body. Just these little mini mindful moments that we can create through the power of ritual. Asking, what do I need? What does my body need today? And it's true what they say. We can't pour from an empty cup. No pun intended. I'd love to hear your thoughts and if this has helped you. Thank you for being with me.